what you see before you is a lot of equipment. And this is what's nice when you have educational videos, because you can sit and observe and watch what we have here. You can see the oscilloscope is moving. We'll get to that in a minute, but you can kind of watch it as I'm talking. But what we have here, once again, is our tuning forks. And you remember we talked about the tuning forks. They are different sizes. See that? We have them tall and we have them short. The taller they are, the lower the sound. The shorter they are, the higher the sound. Now when a piano tuner comes to the house, if you have a piano of course, otherwise he won't be there, he can actually tune the piano by ear. It's called like perfect pitch. Or he can use tuning forks. And of course there's even electronic devices. For example, right here, that's an electronic device for tuning a guitar. And it has the same notes as the guitar would have. These are very small here, but it's an E, and there's an A, and a G, and the B, and all that. And what you do is that you play the guitar string, and you set this to the string that it is, and it's supposed to tell you if the needle goes in the middle, your guitar is in tune. If the needle goes to the far right, it's too sharp. It goes to the left, and it's on the flat. But this is electronic. But those people who are blessed with ability to play by ear or hear sounds by ear, perfect pitch, then they can just pluck the guitar and they've got it. Okay, tuning fork. We're going to talk about the difference between sound and noise. Of course, a lot of the music today I consider noise, but then again, it's still considered music. It'd be good to find out what that definition of music is all about and what's all involved in it. Okay, so anyway, we have this sound here, and we've got it turned on, yes. So, see, there's that sound. Okay, let me change the tuning fork. There's this sound. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try very quickly to play 3 at the same time. Now, I'm going to lay these on the table so that I can read them. I have C, D, E, F. Notes on the piano, aren't they? Notes on the guitar, notes in music. This is one time you kids should take notes. Oh, never mind. All right, I'm going to try to pick these up if I can. I'm going to pick up a C, an E, and a G. And then I'm going to put them by the microphone, and we'll just see if I can move quick enough. Usually I have each kid hold one tuning fork, and it works out very nicely. Here we go. Take a listen here. And those of you who are busy watching the oscilloscope, go ahead and watch it. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, here we go. I have to be quiet so you can hear it. Okay. I don't know if you heard it that well, but it went la, la, la. In other words, it was a smooth. It went up really nice, and it was very pleasant. Some people don't consider it that, but it was pleasant. It was a nice, smooth little walking up the steps. Now I'm going to do the same thing again, but this time I'm going to use the first and second one I did before, and then I'm going to add or change it. I'm going to take out the third one and change it to a different one. Here we go. Hear that? La, la, la. Like it didn't make it. Like you slipped and fell on the step. You see, when you put certain sounds together, we call that music, pleasing to the ear. If you play single notes like I'm playing the tuning forks, then of course you're actually maybe putting together a melody. One note played after another. So the tuning forks, they do vibrate. We mentioned that. Let me touch my ring. Listen. Okay? That means this thing was vibrating. You can hear it banging on the ring. All right, let me get these tuning forks back in order again. Just being a scientist, I just like to have things in order. A, B, C, D, E. All right. Now, let's take a look at the oscilloscope. The oscilloscope is really doing a lot of things right now. It is reacting to my voice. If I get kind of quiet, it doesn't completely level out because we have other noises in here, and we're also picking up some static if you'd like. Now to stay right there with the oscilloscope, I'm going to strike the tuning fork for C, and I want you to look at what happens. Now I want you to count, that's my voice, I want you to count the number of hills. Little bumps. One, two, three, four, five. About 5. 5. Stay right there with the oscilloscope. We don't need to go anywhere. All right, now I'm going to pick up the short little C, which is the high C. Remember we had 5 hills. Count the hills. 1, 2, 3. About 11. Now what does that tell you? It tells you I can make hills. No, it says that a long tuning fork or low frequency gives you fewer waves. Higher sounds give you more waves. The number of waves we call how frequently the waves come past by cycle. So that is a high and low frequency. The frequency is 261.6 on low. The frequency on high is 523.8. That's the high. What's that mean? Well, basically there's 261 6/10 waves come past your ear in 1 second. When you turn on a radio station, you're listening to 101.5 or something. 101.5. That is the frequency in which they're transmitting. You're listening to a TV channel. Did you know the TV picture and the TV sound are 2 separate things? Television sound goes on one frequency because there's like a radio receiver in your TV set. There's a radio transmitter at the TV station. There's a visual transmitter at the TV station. And there's a visual receiver in the TV set. But anyway, that's really complicated. All right, now here's the next thing I want you to notice. I'm going to take the tuning fork, strike it on my elbow, and I'm going to leave it out fairly far like you see it. And then I'm going to bring it in closer and closer and closer. Notice what happens to the waves. Did you see what happened? You got how do you describe that? Were the waves the same number? Gee, I forgot to look at that, didn't we? We were just busy looking at the other thing. All right, let's look at 2 things at the same time. You can do that. See if the number of waves change, the frequency of the waves, the number of the waves change, and what's the other thing that happened? Did you notice that? How tall the wave got? As I move closer, and then I'll move away. Let's try it again. Wait a minute. See the difference? As I approach the microphone with the tuning fork, the hills, the crest, the peak, that got higher and higher and higher. Now that means we had frequencies, a number of waves. Now we have the loudness, or how loud something is, because it also can be called something by the pitch. But before we get into that, there is a frequency that I'd like you to get a hold of. I'd like to get a hold of the frequency that is on American Online. If you have any questions whatsoever, got a nice little shot of the microphone. You got any questions about anything you need to know about what we're teaching here, or information about other program series that I have, then you can do us through American Online. That's an email, and of course we have a website, whichever you can reach us by. And by the website, the email address is in there. You can just tap it in. Those you know about computers know what I mean. At the end of this series, you'll see also there's a post office box. Okay, we found out so far that the waves were high and the waves were low, dependent upon the distance of the microphone from the tuning fork, or vice versa as I move the tuning fork. Now, this is a cute little thing I've learned years ago, and I just can't forget it. There is a change in the frequency due to the motion of the wave source. Does that impress you? Change in the frequency of the waves, due to the motion of the wave source, the source of the sound. So I'm going to come up here again, and I'm going to go pass it like this. Go back and forth like that. And let's see what happens. Take a look at the oscilloscope. You can see by the oscilloscope, when it got the peaks got up, the crests reach high, that's where the tuning fork was right in front of the microphone, and this is where we moved out. So you know exactly where I was at as far as motioning this. Now, sound, that's sound, some noises. Some people claim they can play guitar. I don't claim that. But you see on a guitar, let me turn this microphone gently. Now if I play the guitar one string, look at the oscilloscope. Next note. This guitar is not in tune. Not only can I hear it, I didn't bother to tune it. By the way, this morning when I was working on this project here, one of the strings popped. So one string is going to be a little difficult keeping its true pitch.